Hello.
Hello, Kelsey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of math work right now, so not like
Ew.
great, but
Fun times.
yeah.
All right. I'm recording this just to let you know.
Oh
And
yeah.
it should be pretty short. It should only be like 10 minutes or so. So, I mean, one of the interviews only lasted like 5 minutes. So it just kind of depends. Um, so I'm just going to ask a couple questions and then kind of like leave it open if you want to like share something else or, and give me another reason why you want to be chaplain, something like that. So the
Okay.
first question is, why do you want to be chaplain?
Um, I want to be chaplain because I think I don't. Hmm, I think I would say I want to be chaplain because I think um honestly I think it would help my personal walk with God, and maybe I would get to help other people walk their walk with God. Um, but I've noticed that in my life, whenever I get to take an important leadership role like this, I grow much more than I would have if not.
Yeah,
And so I think this is a good opportunity to grow more than anything.
yeah, awesome. So the second question is, what would you specifically bring to HLT? Like what, like unique perspective or whatever would you bring to like be a chaplain on HLT?
Um, I think I mean, I don't know if anybody who's going to watch this, if you understand the Enneagram, but
Oh yeah.
as an 8-9, um, I like to state my point, but as an 8-9 wing, I like to state my point, but my point could be both sides. Um, and I like to see both sides of every argument and every little decision, such as should we do ultimate frisbee or dodgeball, or
Mm-hmm.
and so. Um, I think more than anything, I would bring um, two sides to each argument, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right. And then my last question is, what is a like specific example of how you've seen God working in your life? And this doesn't have to be like recent. It could be from like a while ago, but just a place where you know that God has been working in your life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to start off, um, I think at Covenant, you get to see a lot of stories, a lot of different stories, and a good amount of my friends have family trouble, and I think like one of the biggest things I can see God like saying like, here you go, man, like you are lucky, is um my family. Like not everybody has uh not everybody is gets to be raised Christian, and not everybody like has two parents that love them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm super lucky and I think that's one that I mean that's definitely the biggest and the first one that comes to mind. I think another way I see him working in my life is through just certain people like Coach Lee and other coaches. Oh no, my math papers are going everywhere. Hold on. Um, shoot. Sorry, what was the question again?
You're good. It was just you were talking about Coach Lee and how the question was
Oh
like,
yeah,
how's God working in your life?
yeah. Well, I think through you know I think I see him. I think I see him working through a lot of different people like that I look up to, like my coaches and my dad, my sister, and you know, Chuck and other people. But I think, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last question is like not really a question. It's just kind of like, is there anything else that you want to share? Like any, I don't know, like any experiences, any stories, any sort of like last comment or anything? You don't have to, but it's like just opening up the floor if you want to.
Can I share my favorite verse?
Sure.
So my favorite verse is from Mark 9. It's in Mark chapter 9, verse 24, and it's I can't remember the whole verse, but just the second half of it is I believe, help my unbelief, and like that is definitely a verse that's like kind of shaped my career as a Christian, um, because growing up in a Christian home, it's kind of like you hear all the stories and then you're like, okay, great, like what?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of hard to see my faith is like mine and not my parents.
Right.
But and so that was like there was a good period of like 4 years where I was like I wasn't a Christian. It was like my parents were Christian and I was kind of like going to church for them.
Yeah.
But it was like in like last year or something where it kind of hit me that it was like like this faith can be yours, and it's like dang, like I'm able to make my own decisions about Christianity and stuff, and so that was cool. And it was right after I read this verse, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. All right. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else to ask or anything like that. So thank you. This was great.
Yeah, thanks.
See ya.
See ya.